What's up, everybody? It's Ruck, and you're tuning into Real Ruck TV. Today's agenda is my Q&A, where I'll be taking some questions from some of my followers and answering them. Got a total of 7 questions. Let's get right into it. Question 1, why do you think you're different? I don't think, I know. 100% certain, not a doubt in my mind. Everything from the way I dress, talk, think, handle situations, deal with pressure, everything else is different. I don't conform to trends. I don't ride waves unless I agree with them. I've thought of myself as more of an alien for as long as I can remember. Nothing else besides the way I eat, sleep, breathe. Other than that, nothing else pretty much makes me human. Everything is just different from the norm. Everything around me pretty much says different. It's not something that I have to force either. A lot of people have to force being different just to fit in, because different is the new norm now. So you got a lot of people that try and force themselves into being different, but it shows. Somebody that's truly different can spot out a person that's trying to act, and somebody who really is different. It's almost as clear as day. So a lot of people don't see that because everybody's too busy trying to force themselves into be different. So being different it's not easy at all. I mean, it's easy to do it, but to be in a world where everybody's so quick to be like the next person, the act of being different itself, carrying that job, handling that job, not easy at all. Being different itself, pretty easy if that's who you really are. Question 2 goes on to ask, what sets you apart from everyone else? Pretty much the same as question 1. Everything is different because that's the origin. It comes from something that's not like everyone else. The way I think, dress, talk, handle adversity, handle prosperity is all different. So everything kind of comes from something that sometimes can easily be explained, sometimes it's extremely difficult to explain, but it's genuine, and that's what shows. When it's genuine, even if people don't understand it, they can respect it and they can connect with it in a way, even if they don't fully understand why you do this. Why did you wear your shoes that way? Why did you use that word in that sentence? Why did you do that like that? Everybody else would handle it like this. Everybody else would have went left, but you chose to go right. Why? They may not understand it, but they'll be like, wow, nobody else agreed with the way you did things, but it worked. And that's where people will just be like, I guess I can't knock his hustle. I can't knock the way he thinks. I can't knock the way he does things, because to add to that, me being a man, being a black man on top of that, in the year 2018, it's like I don't have room to try and be like everyone else. Plenty of bullseyes on black men's back, especially. We don't have time to be timid. We don't have time to worry about trying to be something that we're not, because there's so much danger in trying to be like everyone else. So setting yourself apart is almost your duty. If you really are different from everybody else, you almost owe it to yourself to make sure that you separate yourself. Not all the time. People think that, if you set yourself apart, you're always apart from everyone else. There's nothing wrong with being in the in crowd, doing this, doing that like everyone else does. You just don't do it all the time. But when you don't do it, that's when people question it the most. Why can't you just be like everyone else? Why you can't just be simple like everyone else? Why can't you do this, do that? But like I said, me specifically, my intelligence has always been the biggest part. For as long as I can remember, before I was anything else, before I was weird, before I was cool, before I was an alpha male, whatever I'm called nowadays, before I was anything else, I was smart. I knew how to put 2 and 2 together. I always looked up to older people growing up, still do now, and they always, gave me a lot of wisdom that kids my age just weren't getting. So there was a lot of things that I understood at a young age that a lot of my peers, they just didn't get, not until later on in life. And it always allowed me to be like, a couple moves ahead, couple steps ahead, couple thought processes ahead. It just made me it made me more intelligent than most, which can always be, there's always good and bad with it. It wasn't always easy. Being a smart person in the room, over analyzing sometimes, under analyzing sometimes, because you understand the smart way out. And sometimes the smart way is long, strenuous. Sometimes the right answer is subtle, quick, very fast, simple. And then everybody else just looks at you like, that's not what that's not what everybody else would have did. To kind of match my intelligence, me being very sensitive, and I don't mean sensitive like in an emotional way. As a kid, I was very sensitive emotionally. Emotionally, I was a sensitive kid. As a kid, like anything would like upset me. As a kid, I cried a lot. But then as I grew up, I still had those same sensitive tendencies, but they were used in a different way as I got older. I handled it differently as I got older. Me being sensitive to everything around me, it allowed me to boost my intelligence almost every day. Even if I like heard somebody talk, even if I didn't say a word, me being sensitive to it. I picked up on ways of dealing with things. I picked up on hustles. I picked up on lingo. Even if I didn't use it, I knew what it was. That way, as days and days went on, like I became more hip to things quicker than everybody else. Because even if I didn't say anything, even if I didn't act on it, I knew. And that was kind of like my weapon, because like I knew things that even when people didn't think I did. Being an underdog I've always took pride in it, because that's always been me, always been the underdog. So then when you come out and you let people know what you know, or you act on what you know, everyone's always surprised, and then you always come out on top because you have the upper hand. Question 3, what inspires your day-to-day looks? Really, to be honest, it really just depends on the mood. Some days I'm chilling. Some days I want to make a fashion statement. Sometimes I want to balance it. Sometimes I want to do the absolute most. Sometimes I want to keep it as simple and subtle as possible. It really just depends on the mood. Being a model, being a wardrobe stylist, I feel like I'm my biggest customer. I feel like if I should have to sell myself to anybody, it should be to me. I can experiment the most on myself. I try and go for new looks all the time. Like I try and make sure I go out of my comfort zone. At least try to. It's kind of hard getting your own worst enemy sometimes, but I try and even go against my own grain, like step out of my comfort zone, especially fashion-wise. Like do something new. Put this together that you didn't put together the last time. Okay, you wouldn't normally do this, but try it. Try it in a different way. Just try. I'm always big on trying new things, especially when it comes to my fashion. Then on top of that, with my day-to-day looks, like I said, sensitivity. Sensitive to what I see, hear, what I'm exposed to altogether. So if I'm exposed to let's say like a fashion concept, a fashion trend, even if I don't really like it, even if I don't agree with it, if I can see it helping me in the future, it'll come back to me like that. Like I'll pull it from the back of my mind and I'll put it with something that I had in mind, and then it comes together. Then sometimes it fails, sometimes it's a big success, but a lot of my day-to-day looks is just maybe something I saw a year ago, and then I took it and like put it in my own way. Question 4, how do you see through females so easily? I knew somebody was gonna ask me this. So, me being the person that I am, I've had my fair share, a lot of experiences with women. So eventually, like I said, sensitive to anything I'm exposed to. So any type of the, tactics, tricks, females, not all females, but some females tend to use, the ones who are the ones that will try and finesse, try and get over on you, try and or ones that make you think. Like I've ran into some females that genuinely just made me think. It wasn't a way to try and get something from me or take something from me. Some girls really cared enough that they wanted me to think, kind of like how your parents want you to think sometimes. But all of that, being exposed to all of that, me being a sensitive person, I kept it in some way. Even if I didn't like stress it or whatever, even if I didn't think too much to it, I put it in like in the back of my mind. So when it was time for me to use the knowledge that I already had, it was easy for me to pull it out and use it. So that's pretty much how I see through females. I don't see through all of them. I see through the majority of them. Because like I said before, the world we live in now, everybody wants to be the same. So it's really easy if you understand how the majority of them work, you can deal with the majority. And then another part of that with females, just practice makes perfect. I've had a lot of them. Like, I've dealt with a lot of women, even as friends, and a lot of people don't know this about me, but the closest person that I'm with is my grandmother, a female. So I've had for as long as I can remember my entire life, I've always had a female either in my ear telling me, teaching me things. And then as I got older, I found out that I really loved women, so I was always around them. And then you just start picking up little stuff here and there, hearing, seeing, and then you put it all together in the end, like as a rule book, kind of like a cheat code book, I guess you could say. And it allows me to deal with them for the most part. I've had some women still to this day like stump me, like I can't see through them at all. So it's just the majority, not all, because there's always special cases, but for the most part, I pretty much know what's going on when it's a female involved. Going back to my sensitivity, like everything that I saw, everything that I was exposed to, I was able to, soak it all in with females. So when I would, when my friends would, have girl problems, my dad would have girl problems, anybody I knew with women problems, even though I wasn't the person in the situation, me looking at it, I can like soak in information and use it for myself. When she does this means that most times. And if you say this, it's gonna lead to this most times. And I kept it all in the forefront because, if I was going, be around females so much since I liked them so much, I was gonna have to know how to carry myself when it was crunch time. I had to have a game plan. I couldn't just go in there head first with no plan, because that wasn't gonna get me anywhere with them. So I made sure to gain as much knowledge as I could when it came to women, females. Had to. I made it a point to make sure to be as knowledgeable as I could, soak up as much game as I could all the time if a woman was involved, because that's what I knew that I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be around females. I knew I liked hanging around them. What qualities do you look for in a female? I'm real big on smarts. I'm real big on intelligence. Real big on goals. Nobody wants to be around. Nobody wants their companion to be like a bum with no plan, no future ahead of them. Just going day by day, every single day, and just dealing with whatever comes when it comes. That's not what I want. My ideal female is somebody that can challenge me mentally, because like I said before, mentally I'm just so far ahead of so many people. It gets boring sometimes dealing with somebody who can't catch up, who can't keep up. So now, out of all my experiences, I remember one girl in particular. More than anything else, she was pretty. She had everything you could ever ask for. Looked like a model type. Everything. Dudes would stop her in traffic all the time. Celebrities wanted to talk to her. Had the whole package. But even though I saw all those qualities, what kept me around her, what made me really have interest in this girl in particular, is the fact that she challenged me mentally. It wasn't always me putting her on game, or like me saying a whole bunch of stuff. She going like, "What are you talking about? Huh? Look at this Instagram post instead. Look what somebody said on Twitter. Guess what my friend said? Guess what drama I just got in last week?" This girl actually would teach me things, and that was just a big turn on for me, because a smart person. Like, if that's who I am, that's what I do. If you can teach me something, and not only teach me something, but constantly challenge me, constantly make me think, yeah, that's a big, that's a big, you get big points for that. Yeah, so if you're a woman that can challenge me, that's the big like quality. Everything else, the norm. You have to be attractive, at least to me. So pretty. I'm a big asset type of person, so up you gotta look good up top and down low. What else? What else? What else? I used to have a thing for like short girls, but I like all women. It really don't matter. I don't have a specific type. Before anything else, I love all my black women, but I love all women. I think Pops taught me that. Like, all women are beautiful, but I'll always have a special place in my heart for all my black women. Y'all are just such intelligent, powerful creatures. Y'all do a whole bunch of dumb things. Y'all do that I don't agree with. But overall, y'all always gonna be right here, even when y'all upset me. And believe me, y'all upset me. But qualities, yeah, intelligence first, beauty. You gotta be physically healthy, like, gotta have something for me to look at. And goals. If you're a go-getter, you're a hustler, that's a big one for me too. I remember I dealt with this other girl one time. She was pretty. She wasn't all of that, but she was pretty. But more than anything else, what kept me around her, what kept me like always calling her, texting her, being around her, she was a hustler. That girl she was a go-getter. She went out and she got that bag by any means necessary. And like me being a man who's supposed to be the provider in the relationship or the situation or whatever, like that's like, wow, you're not even like, society doesn't even like challenge you to be this type of person, but you are. So that was a big one for me. And like, no dude want to take care. Now some dudes do, but me personally, I'm not gonna take care of anybody. My future kids are the only people I want to take care of. So if you're a woman that really doesn't need a man, that's a big turn on. Being different. Now I understand if you're not really different, that might not be who you are. But if I run into you and you're smart, pretty, thick, all of that, and you're an alien on top of that, don't worry, I'll propose. I'll give it all up. I run into her, whoever she may be. If I run into her, I'm getting married soon, like next year, like ASAP. All of that, and then you're an alien. Me and you are like here, like everything is like we here with it. We both aliens. Like we both don't even act like we belong on this planet. Oh yeah, wife. Question 6, what's your career goal and why? Well, my career goal is to be an elite entrepreneur. I want 5 to 6 sources of income, like by the time I'm 30. That's what I'm pushing for. But like I am a stylist, I am a model. But my career goal is I want to be a TV personality and start a podcast for music, where I get to talk to musicians about music, social problems, just issues that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Land a hosting job for like MTV, VH1, BET, be a host. Just talk to people about issues, about topics that I find interesting. And then, of course, like I said before, I'm really big on my fashion, so I always want to keep modeling and styling a part of my life. But those are pretty much going to be just other sources of income down the line, because fashion's always going to be in my heart. That's what I want to do. But as far as a career, that's not what I want to do as a job. I would love to get paid for like my fashion expertise and my model physique and my model physical features. I would love to get paid for it, but that's natural. It's not something that I want to do as a job. I'd love to get paid for it, but I don't want it to be a job necessarily, if that makes sense. My career goal, TV personality, be in front of the camera, just like this, always, engaging with people, talking with people hearing my perspective on things, because from what I've heard, what I've always heard is my perspective is different and people want to know. I didn't know this before, but people genuinely care about my opinion, so that's what I want my career to be, where I can give people that. I know as a kid, like I kind of wanted to be the center of attention, but as a kid I understood how dangerous that was. Like I would get in trouble for showing out as a kid, so I strayed away from it. But as I became an adult, I understood like there's nothing wrong with that as long as you know the time and place to do it. Like not necessarily be the center of attention, but I want people to know my opinion on things. I need people to know that there's not a set way of handling things, and not a set way of doing things, it's not a set way of saying things. You can do it however you see fit, and that's what I'm really about, being yourself. So like more than anything else, my career goal, I want to motivate people to do that. So being a TV personality, getting my perspective out into the general public, that's what Question 7. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, career-wise, financially, etc.? Now, in 5 years, I plan to have my podcast either jotted down on a blueprint on paper or already started. That's my goal. That's where I see it. That's where I see it in 5 years. I want my podcast either already up and running or all the way laid out and ready for its release date. And financially, I want to have at least three of the 6 sources of income already in fruition, already rolling. Relationship wise, I plan to be I want to at least have found who I'm gonna marry by the time I'm 25. I'm 20 now. So in 5 years, 25 to 26, I want to at least be ready to like settle down, completely settle down. Like at least find the person that I'm gonna marry. Not necessarily marry them then in 5 years, but at least have found that person in 5 years. And I want my house by then. I want my car by then. I need Austin Ruck Enterprises in full effect, gaining all types of income. I want property. I want investment in stocks. I want my foot in the door everywhere in 5 years. Not necessarily everything solidified in 5 years, but I want my foot in the door. I want to have engaged with everything that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life in 5 years. And that pretty much wraps it up, man. I wish I had more questions to answer. But don't forget to subscribe. There will be more videos in the future. Stay tuned for A Day in the Life episode 2. Don't forget to follow my social media. You can find me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, all under the @ Real Ruck. That's REALRUCK. If you really want to engage with me on a day-to-day basis, I will follow my Instagram especially. That's my favorite. So